Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is Even Him Who's Coming is After the Working of Satan. Right, and this is basically going into Second Thessalonians chapter 2, right? The man of lawlessness being revealed, right? And it's just happening at such a pace. It's happening real fast, right? And it's happening all over the world. This is Luke 21. Luke 21 and 22. It says, "For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled." Right. And basically, the man of sin is being revealed here, a whole lot more than he was before. People are making connections. This is Second Habakkuk 2 and 1. It says, "I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower." Right. And who's on the watch and who's on the tower? Right. The prophet, the men of the Lord. Right. It says, "I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord Yahweh Bahashim shall answer me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it." So the watchmen, the prophets, the men of the Lord, right, apostles, teachers, they're running to the sheep with the correct message, the 100% truth, right? The scriptures say, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." So you need the 100% truth. You can't be off a little bit. It says, "For the vision is yet for the appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie." So the prophet, starting with the elder apostles, ran with this correct message, even up until now to this point. But way back in the 1960s, 1970s, they was running with the message when nothing was happening. And now we're in a time where all is being fulfilled. It says, "For the vision is yet for a appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." So at the end, it's going to start speaking. And we're at the end now, and everything is happening pretty much all at once. Everything is intensifying. War, pestilence, Jacob's trouble, who's the wicked being revealed, and all of that. So we got these videos, but I'm read this real quick and just listen to this videos because there's so much happening. It's hard to watch everything. So I'll play this little part here soon. Second Thessalonians 2 and 1. It says, "Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai, and by our gathering together unto him." And that's what's taking place in these last days, right? We are gathering together unto the Lord Yahweh Shai. It says, "That ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Yahweh Shai is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." Hey, and we did fall away. I was just in Luke 21, around 22. Right, and he goes into the, basically 70 AD with the temple being sacked. Right, so we had to fell away. We discontinued from our heritage, as the scripture says. It says, right, so falling away, which was the Israelites fell away, and the man of sin being revealed, the son of perdition. So some destruction is being revealed in these last days, and people are making the connection that America and Israel are pretty much the same, and pretty much Israel runs America. And so they're making a connection even from that point. The JWOs, the Jews, and it goes further to the banking elites like Russia. Russia says that a lot. Russia talks about the deep state, right, and the backers and the funders and things like that, and that goes to the Rothschilds. I was in Atlanta the other day, going on the Atlanta bypass, trying to make my way to like I-20. I seen a bunch of signs with the names of the Rothschilds. I seen David Rothschild, Luke Rothschild. There was so many signs, probably like 20 signs, right, with all these different Rothschild names, and these are the banking elites, and it's other families, the Rockefellers, right, the DuPonts, right, these different banking elite families that run the world are JWOs, right, in their wicked, twisted mind, they actually think that they are the people. That's why you see Israel doing what they're doing. Israel thinks they're the people. So these JWOs think they're the people, and they're trying to bring about their own pseudo blessing, right? Pursuant to everything written in scriptures. Romans 9:4 tell you that everything that's written in scriptures pertains to the Israelites, right? So they want to be Israel so they can get these promises written, but that would never happen. But anyway, so this and that man of sin revealed the son of perdition, which is the destruction, right? He's going to destruction. It says, who opposeth and exalts himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he as God sits in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, which is stupid. Because he wanted to be the people. He's trying to show God that he's the people at the same time going against God. So he's really confused. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholded that he might be revealed in his time. It says, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. This is during the time of the Roman Empire. So the Roman Empire, which is, wicked Edomites, were in power doing wickedness behind the scene. Just like Isaiah 47 tells you, going to those sorceries, the left hand magic and things like that, enchantments and witchcraft. They were doing all that shit behind closed doors even back then, just doing complete abominations to make their way prosperous. So that was already at work. And this is the revised Roman Empire, okay? America. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord Yahweh Bashal shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, right? By the mouth of his prophets. Okay, and that's happening right now. It says, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Right, let me grab that Luke 170. It says, as Luke 1:70, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. Right. So the Lord Yahweh Bashal shall always spoke by the mouth of his prophets, right? From the beginning of time, even in the garden. All right. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, and the Lord Yahweh Bashal shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, and with all power and signs and lying wonders, right? And that's Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and they're figuring that out. Now I'm gonna play this clip. I'm gonna go into like the 11th minute mark. I'm starting at 3 minutes. I got it on 1.50, but you can hear this. They know, they know who the wicked is. They're making connections.
Turned against the Israeli regime. The Israeli regime has all sorts of problems. The empire has all sorts of problems. But I think that this issue that has exploded in the United States surrounding Epstein, I think that is going to have an impact on all of this, because even Trump supporters, many of them are outraged, and they see the connection between the Israeli regime and the corruption in the United States and what they've been doing to children in the United States for the sake of the Israeli regime, what Mossad has been doing. And so I think people establish a link between what they've done to children in the United States and the genocide, the Holocaust that's taking place in Gaza. It's been downhill for the Israeli regime for 21 months now, but I think that the last 48 hours has been much worse.
Well, in your previous tenure as chair of American Studies, you have frequently educated us about the state of American public opinion, but you are right to say that all bets are now off, that an exponential rise in rejection of the state capture of the United States by Israel is underway. I watched Tucker Carlson, who until very recently would have described himself, maybe still would, as a supporter of Israel, definitely not a political ally of thee or me. But I watched his statement, a conservative American gathering just at the weekend, over this weekend, and he sounded like you and me. His rejection of the state capture of the United States by a foreign power, and a not very savory foreign power at that, a foreign power whose leaders are wanted for war crimes, a foreign power that's never out of the pocket of the American taxpayer, a foreign power that is credibly accused of genocide. And yet the American people are kept in the dark that these people actually rule the United States political class. It's really, really taken off like one of Elon Musk's rockets, don't you think?
Absolutely. I find it stunning. I watched that speech. I watched bits and pieces of it, and then I watched the whole thing. And it was revolutionary. It's not something that I would have ever imagined just a few months ago. And so you see across the board, Americans from left to right, liberal, all of them are turning against the regime. And all of them are seeing that this regime is using American girls, is using them in order to corrupt the United States. Zionism is like acid. It ruins everything. And when people see how the president of the United States today is trying to shut down the argument, and how his own supporters supported him partially because he thought previous presidents were shutting down debate, that leaves Americans with a major question. What do they do about the political establishment of the United States? I'm not saying that the United States is heading towards revolution tomorrow, but this is not sustainable. And I think people in Tel Aviv should be very, very worried, because they're not just despised in Spain. They're not just despised in North Africa or West Asia or South Africa or Latin America. They're despised in the heart of empire. And this is not something that they can ignore. And this is not something that the regime in Washington can ignore. Again, I don't know what the future holds, but I don't see this as ending well for the regime. And I think we're going to have further conflict with Iran. I think the Zionist regime will attack Iran. This is going to make things worse for Tel Aviv. The genocide will continue. It's only going to make people across the world despise it further. The crisis in the West will continue to grow. They failed to end the war in Ukraine. Now it's intensifying through a changing or evolving policy in Washington. And then you have these trade wars going on and intensifying again. I just don't see this as sustainable. And the Israeli regime is going to be a big loser in all of this. The entire West is a loser. I mean, the Western political establishment, because they've discredited themselves. I and you and others have been saying that the collective West has been discredited and their soft power has been demolished by what the Israeli regime has done. But as we think that it can't get worse for them, it gets worse. And I think this Epstein issue that has been raised has made it even worse than we could have imagined just a few days ago.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that American politicians were raping, because that's what it is, we're raping children, legally, children. We're raping children is bad enough. Doesn't get much worse than that. But the fact that an agent of a foreign state was filming it for the purposes of blackmail takes us into entirely new territory, doesn't it? And now we have, partly thanks to the Trumpists, who have been talking about Epstein over and over again for years now, when we thought, or they thought, presumably thought, that it was Clinton and co. that were in the frame, have obviously suddenly been told or shown that actually both parties, both sides, if you can call them sides, are as complicit as the other, and that it'll bring...
Right. And let me grab this Habakkuk real quick, because as he said, because the wicked is at play here, right? The Amalekites, the JWOs are the chief, right, of the wicked. This is 2. In Habakkuk 2:15, it says, "Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor a drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and making him drunken also, that thou mayest look upon their nakedness." So this is what these JWOs who run the road did to America, right? As you can see in history, Israel has always attacked America, right? Their army and things like that, and also infiltrated America, try to infiltrate the government and things like that, bribe them with money, buy them with money, and these are the JWOs that's doing that. Right, and they even invited them to this land, this island, and made them do the things that they did. And I mean, they wasn't upset not to do it, and recorded it all, right, for blackmail now. So something big is coming, right? And that what's big is that's coming is that Jeremiah 50. I'll grab real quick. All right, so the let me grab it. 50. Jeremiah 15:45, it says, "Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh Bashmiah that he have taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he have proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock," which talking about Israel, the fake JWOs in that land, "shall draw them out. Surely he shall make the habitation desolate with them." Right? And that's all we see now. Trump trying to support Ukraine now, and also supporting Israel, Woe, Habakkuk 2:15, "Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look upon the nakedness." It says, "Thou art filled with shame for glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful things shall be on thy glory." Right. So these devils are being found out. And like he said, I'll play it again.
When we thought, or they thought, presumably thought, partly thanks to the Trumpists, foreign state was filming it for the purposes of blackmail, takes us into entirely new territory, doesn't it? And now we have, partly thanks to the Trumpists, who have been talking about Epstein over and over again for years now, when we thought, or they thought, presumably thought, that it was Clinton and co that were in the frame have obviously suddenly been told or shown that actually both parties, both sides, if you can call them sides, are as complicit as the other, and that it'll bring down the republic. Alex Jones said
Right. Oh, yeah.
tonight, this Epstein affair may bring down the American republic.
Right. What's going to really bring down those nuclear missiles? But they said these two sides are one. Listen to Colonel Doug McGregor here.
The only thing we did when we elected Trump was we changed lanes. We're still on the same highway. That's the first thing.
Right. So they're saying the same thing. This is Revelation chapter 13 and 11. It says, I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, but he spake as a dragon. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose belly was healed. This is the revised Roman Empire coming back, right? Making the world worship after the Roman Empire and the acts, the atrocities, the abominations, and things like that. And that's why it says it had two horns like a lamb. So you have your Democratic and Republican Party, but it spake as a dragon because it's one head, it's one leader, and it's taking you down one highway to the road of the new world order, the MOTV. And it goes into this, the Michael C. hip, right? So, that's the point. Prophecy has been fulfilled, and it's faithful and it's true, Right. It's supposed to be the Wailing Wall, or part of the temple in Jerusalem, where the JWOs go over there and they basically molest this wall. And Trump is over there pretty much doing the same thing, because you see who controls them and who runs them. Right. So with that, I'll say shalom to the whole elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.